welcome back to another edition of He Said, She Said with Libby and Stafford. Today should be kind of a fun one, so we're going to be talking about, since it's that month, some things kind of Halloween-y, but we're still going to do a He Said, She Said spin on it. Our topic for today, to start out with, is going to be, how and when is a proper time to literally scare the shit out of your kids and other people's children at Halloween, and if it's okay at all. So that's what we're going to start with, because sometimes, okay, and other times, I don't. So, it's not my technical difficulty over there.
I am Mike 2.
Are you good there?
I'm 2.
Yeah, I know. You're on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't hear me.
Okay. Not my problem.
You're running the board.
Hey, it's on. It's all the way on.
Okay.
And I don't know what's happening with that over there.
Just assume it's on. Oh, yeah, I need the cart wall.
No, you don't get the cart wall.
No, I need the cart wall.
You don't get the cart wall. Remember, I run the board today. You don't get the cart wall.
You can run the board.
No.
Okay. Did you go through the cart wall?
I didn't, but I was looking at all of them, and you're right. You're probably going to get smacked for a few of them. I'm just trying to figure out why the cart wall is doing that little thing there, and our producer's like, it needs to stop. I have to go fix it. He's running away with it.
When he's done fixing it, he can slide it over here. Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Anyway. I'm going to work on running this board, and apparently the electronic part of it decides to hate me. Everything else I've got going good, though. So, for the first time running the board, not so bad. But like I said, we're going to start out with the, issues of, when is too young to scare the living Jesus out of children, because it is that season. And then we're going to roll into, different, spookiness with children involved as far as, paranormal or just, sketchy kind of Halloween pranks with kids.
Yes, but we won't list names or nothing.
No names will be listed. Okay. That is not going to happen.
Where are you going with that? Bring it back over here, buddy.
It comes over here.
No, and it needs to come back over here. Okay, there we go.
There you are.
See? I've been talking this whole...
He hadn't showed me, so not my fault.
All the buttons are right there in front of you.
Yeah, it didn't show me those. He's like, do this one, this one, this one, and I did. And I was like, so proud of myself, because I'm like, I got them all. And then that one didn't want to stop playing. I'm like tapping on the screen and it won't stop.
You yelled at me last week, but everybody was still on air, even when you yelled at me. And here,
Like, how does that make that any different than normal? Me yelling at you, like.
Because I was doing my job back there, and now you've got my mic turned on, but you didn't before. You know what? I feel awful like, I don't know, I'm kind of ballsy because she's all the way up.
See who controls the mic.
Okay. You're still all the way over there, and I'm all the way
nice.
over here.
I don't have to hit you with a spatula. I can just turn it off. It's fine.
Yeah. Is that what you're going to do from now on?
I don't know.
Is that your new thing?
No. It's still way too much fun to hit you with things.
Well, yeah, there is that.
But yeah, we're not going to mention names. The only names that will be mentioned is like if a spirit or ghost or entity or whatever has a name.
Right.
That's the only, people involved, whether we know them personally or don't know them personally, or whether it's just something that I've gotten off of Reddit. Mm-hmm.
You're on Reddit?
No. I was.
So you didn't get it. So you're lying to the listeners. Listen,
no.
That you go. What do you?
My daughter was on Reddit, and she sent it from me. You want stabbed.
From over there? All right, yeah, I'm worried.
Ask my husband. I can throw darts, metal ones, and they stick from across the room.
Did you bring any with you?
You don't know. I got a whole bag of stuff.
Well, the purse does probably have bricks in it, but it's over here too.
I brought the bag from 1812's Treasure Hunt.
Yeah.
I still have the shears in there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So,
is the knife still in there?
Mm-hmm.
Prove it.
No, it's actually out in the car.
Another lie!
But the shears are in there. So are the safety pins and everything else, and leather straps that I can reach all the way across there and just whip the shit out of it. So, I've got enough. Plus, there's all kinds of rope.
How much slack did we put on this? I think I can go out the door with this.
I'm sure I could get help from Chris if I offer to bake him gluten-free cookies.
He doesn't need gluten-free.
No,
anyway, you're better now?
No, but...
It's, yeah.
I gave up.
Okay.
I gave up.
Yeah, been there.
That is all married men do.
But, I figure we'll start it out with, I don't know. I love Halloween, so I like scaring people, but I also don't think it's right for, when a child is, little bitty, like 2, 3 under that, to scare the living bejesus out of them.
I wouldn't scare a kid unless they were like 5. I mean,
Right.
once they hit 5,
they're
anything
up
under
walking
5, don't. But
Once they're at, walking and trick-or-treating and things like that, then I think, okay, if they're still having to be carried,
right,
probably not
Yeah.
a good plan.
that's a good rule of thumb.
Because I've seen people scare babies so bad they just fall on their ass. Like, you see these things on YouTube or on Funniest Videos. I don't think that's funny. Like, you're literally scaring the hell out of this kid. That kid's going to need therapy.
Well, it's like the guy that always gets hit in the balls. If you get hit in the balls and you're on the video, then you're going to win the video because you got hit in the balls. That's not funny.
Yeah, that's not funny.
That's gone.
Right.
Get $1
Like-
million.
Even $1 million. Well, maybe for $1 million. Maybe once, but not 14 times.
Right? No, we're not gonna make it. We're not gonna make a game out of this. Like, how many times can you hit me in a sack? Like, no, that's not a game anyone wants to play. Like, I'm a woman and don't have that, and I look at that and go,
and
oh
based
my
on
God.
based on that logic right there, that tells you that getting kicked in the balls is more painful than childbirth.
No.
Yes, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why because 6 to 8 weeks, if that long, after a woman has a child, she wants to have another one.
Oh no.
I have never heard a guy say, "Ooh, I want to get kicked in the balls again. Let's
No.
have another baby."
No, it's not like that. At least not with me or my daughter or anything else. Like, we're having the first kid and we're like, nope, we're done. So maybe 10 years later you have a kid,
Because you forgot.
Oh, no,
I
don't
always
know
remember that nutsack shot pain.
Yeah, I don't forget the labor pain. That's why I was, and the having the child, come out of the unmentionables. Don't forget that pain at all. That's why you're like, oh, maybe not, or ooh, let's just hook up that epidural right now so I don't feel a thing from my hips down, like, But yeah, that's not something that you forget ever.
Right.
So, and right now my granddaughter is 4 months old. My daughter's like, nope. It's an absolute nope.
Mm.
And I don't blame her. So, I don't think it's that, but it's like, seriously, like when the kids are that little, if they're small enough to be held in someone's arms, while their siblings are trick-or-treating, that's too young to just go, bah! And, have a mask on and just scare them, and they fall down and, fucking start screaming hysterically because, to them, maybe that's real. Maybe
Right.
maybe they don't think, oh, that's fake, just someone scared me. It's like, there's a monster, and it jumped at me, and, oh my god, and mom thinks it's funny. Like, what's going on here? So, I mean, I don't care. But I think once you hit 5 or 6, like, you're in school, you're this, that, and the other, you're walking around trick-or-treating, fair game. Mm-hmm. And maybe a lot of moms are like, no, don't scare the kids. Well, then they don't need to go out trick-or-treating. I mean, I'm not going to go out of my way to scare them, but, I mean, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
So, my kids know it's game on.
Maybe they should have a boo bracelet.
A boo bracelet?
Yeah.
Yeah, a boo necklace?
Something
a
like
no
that.
boo. A no boo necklace.
If they're carrying their own loot bag,
Yeah.
then they're fair game.
Right. You're carrying your own loot bag and you're walking
If
around.
mom or dad one's muling for them, then, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Who knows? That's just my thought on it, I guess. I don't know. It's just a good rule of thumb.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're old enough to hold your own stuff and you're old enough to walk around and you're old enough to do this, well,
You're old enough to poop your pants when I jump out of the bus and
happy
scare the shit out of you.
Halloween. That's just how it goes. Especially when you live in a small town and everyone knows everyone and everyone knows their kids. So like, oh, that one's going to be good. That one's going to be a fun one right there. That's a live wire. Let's get that one.
Right.
And some of the people in this town will prep. They'll have like a scarecrow or some kind of like weird Grim Reaper or something decoration out in their yard, and they'll have it there, and they'll have it there, and they'll have it there. So you drive by it 100 times, and you know it's there, and it's not moving. It's a
And then
decoration.
Halloween day, they're
Halloween night when they come trick or treating, someone's standing there in that costume, and then jumps and scares the living bejesus out of the
Maynard
kids.
used to do it with a
Yes.
scarecrow with a pumpkin on its head.
Yes.
Sitting on the porch. I'm like,
Oh,
and even
yeah.
having the straw coming out of the wrists and the ankle. I'm like, there's somebody in that son of a bitch. I know it.
There he is, and then
Go
you're
up
like,
there. No, I don't want candy that fucking bad. I'm done.
yeah, and it was right there in the same neighborhood. We always go to the same neighborhood as my grandparents, so we'd always go over there. But it's like, oh man, you knew at one point. The thing was he wasn't there the whole time.
Right,
Like he
you
would
never-
switch out something. You
yeah.
never knew when that a-hole was going to get you.
Roll the dice.
You're like, it might be a crapshoot for real. Like,
So that's where it pays to be the older siblings. You'd be like, well, you guys go up there and get your candy.
Right.
And you stand back and watch.
oh no, or you're just standing by that scarecrow waiting with a fist ready, like,
Right.
jump up. Come on, Scarecrow. Come on, roll the dice.
The best is when you walk past and he didn't get you, but he gets you when you're going
Oh,
back.
yeah.
Because you're like, okay, there's nobody in it, and then you're like, he
Guaranteed
like,
I'd have thrown my
asshole.
candy bag everywhere. Like, because I hate being startled. Like, things
Right.
don't scare me, but I hate being startled. I'll swing.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's getting whomped. It's just reaction, and I'm like, that's why I don't do haunted houses. Not that, oh my gosh, I'm so scared, but no, I don't need to charge.
Right.
Because somebody's getting hit if you come up at me. I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen how this movie works for the little blonde girl. It's never good.
Right.
We're not doing it. I will survive because I wear sneakers, not high heels. So, but yeah, I'm like, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of people that just don't agree with.
Usually
Scaring
the
the
little blonde girl runs upstairs instead of out the
Right?
front door
And I'm
like
like,
she should.
you had two ways to turn. One was the front door and freedom. The other was upstairs, certain death. You go upstairs in your high heels.
Right. But
So, all right. Well, it looks like we're coming up on a break, and when we come back, we'll talk some more about this. So, we will be back here in just a few.
do 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 do. Here she goes, maybe. Do, do, do.
And welcome back. I totally did not screw it up, and I have the mics rolling. Hot dog for that one.
Both of them?
They're on, both of them.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you're right here.
You're positive?
Yes,
Okay, as long as you're sure.
I am, and I can hear you, so we're good.
Okay.
Keep it up, and I'll be positive and turn it all the way down.
You gotta paddle down and turn the thing off.
I will.
Okay.
You stop aggravating the damn mic, we'll be fine. But
How does
anyway,
it feel?
we're getting back
How's
to.
it, what are you doing over there? Let's do it on a break.
No, that's fine. We're getting back to, the scary stories of Halloween and when it's appropriate or not appropriate to scare children. And Chris brought up a good point. He said it's probably not a good idea to scare them when they're that young and being held by a parent, because if you scare them and you scare the parent, the child's probably going to go flying or be used as a weapon. You know, like, waka! What?
I'm gonna beat your ass with a toddler.
I'll throw this baby at you, I swear to God.
Dump somebody into the ground with an infant.
Right? I've picked him up and beat you to death with him.
I'm surprised I haven't seen that in the news yet.
Right?
This will be the year.
Probably, now that we've said it.
Right.
Great.
It's your fault.
Right? Guilt already. But no, but yeah, like I said, if they're ambulatory and teetle-tottling around and stuff, it's fair game. And like you said, probably good for them anyway, psychologically. You gotta be able to, take that shit. Because growing up as an adult is not easy and it's not fun. You better just start now. just get ready.
Let's just get the desensitization started.
Just buckle up, kids. Here we go. So, I don't know. It's crazy. What?
You got to move into the mic. Bring the mic to you.
I don't want to. He said, you don't have to be so close. And I'm watching it. It's like all the way at the end, but it's fine.
That's not the one you look at.
Yeah, you don't look at that. You got to look at
Well,
the
that
other
one's
one.
behind my damn head. How
That's
am I
why
supposed to look at that
just get close to the mic and you'll be fine.
one? How's that?
Well, no, now you're overload.
I know. I'll just be a butt.
No, what I was saying is paddle me up.
Paddle you up. Nobody wants to hear from you.
Well, which one are you? Two?
He's
One.
One?
He's one. I thought you were one.
No,
I thought she was one.
He's
You're-
headphones one. 'Cause
Oh,
he's
did
got
you
the
relay?
one-
I thought it was
he's-
5 and 6.
Well,
okay,
he
let's-
relabeled it.
Well, remember this listed as
Yeah,
1,
it
2,
doesn't matter.
3,
Yeah.
1,
That's all right. I'll let him talk, and I'll continue to eating some candy that's nothing but absolute sugar.
Yeah, because that's what we need.
Oh, God.
Absolutely. This is all sugar except one bag.
No, they're bags of sugar. Like you're. What?
Got
in the-
loose crystal candy, and then I have chopped sugar on the sticks, and I'm leaving some for your daughter, and I'm leaving some for his wife. So you're both
It's
gonna get
debatable which one's worse
it, right?
when it comes to sugar.
Me,
It's still debatable.
because I'm chowing on it, and I haven't had any forever. Like I didn't even eat any at the event, so I'm like, now it's all the sugar.
Great, now because
I'm not going to make it through this.
Yeah, she's
Probably
going to
not.
turn into Peanut.
Yes, he's my favorite puppet ever.
She was peanut to begin with.
Yeah,
She's
I'm gonna be
walking
peanut
around
on
being
crack.
She's going to be the great cornholio by the time it's done.
My people have no bunghole. All right. So you mic'd up. What do you want to say?
I forgot now. the great Mike Adventure.
Oh no, we were talking about with kids it being good for them to get scared, and you don't want parents like picking up a toddler and beating somebody to death.
Well, no, but like I was saying before, there's a reason why all of us, like everybody growing up until this generation, we got the crap scared out of us.
Oh God,
Parents, their parents, there's a reason, and that's
That's how I learned swear words.
I learned those listening to Grandpa work on stuff.
But psychologically speaking, though, that helps you develop the
Coping?
well, no, it's kind of like what he said, desensitizes you to that type of stuff.
Uh-huh.
So when you get into the real world, you have less of the fight or flight.
Oh, let's be real. I get in the real world and a monster jumps out at me, I'm still going to scream and run. I'm just straight up. Like that. I don't care how much I'm desensitized. Somebody jumps out at me like, I'm out. Peace. Deuce. Mm-mm. I've watched that movie. I don't win.
No, but there's a difference between, say, my wife jumping out at me.
Right.
And it takes everything that I
because she loves to do that. She's going to get punched in the head.
She's going to wind up getting thrown down these damn stairs. Is what's going to
happen.
happen.
I'm like, God damn
No,
it.
if I'd been any closer to her the other day when she stepped out because she thought I was him, I'd have knocked her on her ass, and I felt bad about it.
But see,
kinda.
If I was her, to me, that would have been like a score because I wasn't trying to scare you, but it would have made it even funnier because I just scared the living out of you.
Well,
the funny part was that he actually scared her too.
Well, when she stepped out, I went it was go time.
Yeah.
Well, no, because the moment she saw you, she got scared because she was like, "That's not him," and so that scared her immediately because it wasn't who she expected. So
good,
and that's why she was pulling around, going, "Oh my God, I can't believe it! Oh, I thought it was you."
See, he told me that I laughed my butt off. I was like, "Oh my God, you both about peed on the floor." That would have been.
So, see, that's what you get,
right?
That's all I said. That's what you get. Shouldn't be.
You can't guarantee who's walking in.
Shouldn't because every time she does that to me, it's everything that I have not to.
Oh, I'd have probably swung. That's just my initial reaction to that stuff.
And she quit cracking the mirror after I put the candle wax all over it. She quit opening that thing because she thought that shit was funny.
Well, no, she still does it. I shut it.
Oh, okay.
Why? What was that?
Well, when you go into that bathroom downstairs,
yeah,
it's got the three mirrors, and she would crack that one because the first time that somebody had left it cracked, and I went around the thing, and I looked, and I didn't realize I was looking at myself. I just saw somebody standing across the room, and I went for a gun I wasn't wearing, and I told Chris, I was like, okay, that shit ain't funny. I mean, I about had to buy, if I'd have had it on me, I'd have had to have bought you a new mirror.
And then patch a hole in the drywall.
And then it was, well, I'm going to do it all the time.
Right.
And she goes to extreme with it. And so finally, after about the third or fourth dozenth time, I went in there. I was like, okay, so they had the candle warmer plugged in.
Oh, no.
I dipped my finger down in the hot wax and just put it all over the mirror. And I'm like, no, put X and, just all over that one.
That's a dick move.
Yes, it is.
From someone who has to clean that type of stuff up.
But when you're told
because I cleaned it
not to all the time.
I swear, I'm surrounded by children in grown-up bodies.
What? What should I have done?
Apparently shot the wall.
That's what I'm thinking. I was trying to save you some money, so shit,
Well, the thing was, you missed out the point because she didn't even have to clean it up. Chris did.
Well, that's his fault.
He wasn't the one cracking the mirror. No, because there's only so many times you can walk by something when it's dirty and not clean it.
Yes.
There's only so many times.
I even cleaned your sink the other day because the Comet was sitting there and it was greasy.
That sink wasn't greasy. It had soaps coming in it. It's two different things. And I only didn't clean it because I thought she was going to.
Oh, my God.
Again,
because she brought the Comet up there.
Well, actually, she brought it up for something else she had downstairs and brought it back upstairs.
Oh, okay. And it just lives on the...
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
It's just hovering,
Well, no, because, her...
Well, it's almost gone now because I used it to clean the toilet.
Oh, there you go.
She walks in and just goes, I'll pick that up later.
Uh-huh. And when one of you takes it downstairs and puts it up, that's when it gets picked up.
Yeah, it goes under the sink in there.
Yeah.
I hear my phone going off. Whoever's sending me stuff, I don't have my phone on me.
He will after this next break.
No, he won't.
Yes, he will.
No, he won't.
Because we have people to talk about the show.
They should text you or the station phone.
I don't have my phone. My son has it.
Well, then they should text the station phone.
Well, then give him the number.
You don't have it memorized yet?
No, I'm horrible with phone
765-278-8661?
Okay, that one. Great. Awesome.
You didn't intro the show with the...
Put a rose on your nose. Like,
Oh,
No, she was too busy trying to make sure that she got it.
I got all the buttons pushed and all the levers so that I can prove to my husband, who doesn't think that I can handle this, that I can.
You know what? How about here in like halfway through the show, how about we switch?
Why?
Because I want my second hour back there.
Okay.
Okay.
We can do that. And then you'll get your little board with all the little cool
goddamn
things you
right
put
I
on
will.
it.
Yes.
Because it plays neat little things. Like,
Yes, it does.
So all I have to do is just hit one and it'll play?
Yes, but you have to
Yes,
be
you got to
paddled
make sure
up
you're paddled up.
where it says audio in.
Uh-huh. That's paddled
Yeah,
up.
yeah, and then then all
Okay.
you have to do is hit one of those things.
And then that number is like how long they are?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's how many
You have
seconds
one,
long.
oh, seconds. I was like, that was
Those are
7 minutes.
no, those are
Jeez,
seconds.
oh,
Those are
Christ.
seconds. Anything that was excessive, I removed. Even though there were a couple of really good ones that you would have really pissed you off.
I don't care about that.
See. Yeah, I tried to move the ones that I'd use the most up there in the corner.
Ooh.
Okay, here we go.
You don't want to wake the dragon, do you?
Exactly.
This is the
Do
one
the-
that's going to get you hurt, though.
No,
Quiet, woman.
that's right.
That's
That's
the one
why.
that's
That's
gonna
why
get
it's at the top. I was going to use that all the time. You'd be on a roll. I'd be like, "Quiet, woman."
Oh, Lord.
He actually has one for the response for that too.
Yes, I do.
Do what?
It says alert.
Yeah, for when you smack me
Uh-huh.
after I play that, there's one that says alert. It's on the middle towards the bottom. I want to say it's a Steve Irwin. It's a crocodile hunter. Should be labeled SI-alert.
Okay, I'm looking.
Find it.
I've got an SI got one.
Okay, it should be around in there. Look up some
Not sure.
because there's a couple of good ones there that are really going to get the shit knocked out of me.
This is a beautiful little female.
That's one of them.
Well, there's obviously a female around.
That's it. That's going to get me knocked out. It's going to be great.
Ooh.
There's obviously a female around.
Smells like someone died.
You don't want to know why I kept that one.
Okay. Well, because if you two just had Chinese today, I might have to play that a few times.
Right.
Oh, I don't want to deal with that. That's the scariest thing, scarier than Halloween, right there.
But it tasted good.
It always does. But
It
it's
was
the Asian
rat
sneak
on a
attack.
stick. 'cause
It's the,
you can't
it's the
tell me.
Asian sneak attack. You
I-
know it's going to get you. You just don't know when.
I ain't never seen no chicken look like that shit I ate today.
No, my
telling you.
son has called it rat on a stick from the time he was able to
Yep,
eat.
that's what it looks like.
And
Rat patootie.
And the Chinese lady that owned the restaurant didn't miss a beat. She go, okay, rat on stick.
Yeah.
Like whatever. Like my mother was so embarrassed. Like, oh my gosh, it's so offended. And the lady was like, okay, rat on stick and the cook. It was fun.
They
know. Yes.
They roll with it. It's
It's their
When have
rata. This is a rat burger.
when have you ever
See
seen
cows laying around?
when have you ever seen chicken that looks like that?
Right,
Ever?
right.
They say chicken. I go, don't lie to me.
You know what? It's
It's either
delicious.
rat
so I
or
don't
cat,
even
so
care.
I still eat it.
Yeah, I don't care. It's delicious.
It's on a stick. I'll tear it off and eat it. I don't care. I don't care what it is. It's good.
There's enough soy sauce in it. It's edible.
Right. You're like
There's no soy sauce, anything's edible.
Right.
Right, because
Well,
then you're like,
duck
it just
sauce
tastes like soy
sometimes.
sauce. It just tastes like soy sauce, so we're good. I don't care what meat it is. It tastes like soy sauce to me.
Or
So-
the sweet and sour.
Right.
Sweet and sour chick or sweet and sour cat is pretty good.
Yeah. I want no Garfield here. But, and we got way off topic. It wasn't even me this time. But,
Well, it's Halloween. We're allowed to talk
Right.
about eating cats and dogs and
well, like I said, this next couple shows, like especially for Halloween, it's like I want to, kind of deviate just a little bit instead of strictly being about, oh, he said, she said this and that and the other. Yeah, we'll have at the beginning. We'll have that
He's
topic.
real way to know he was right.
What?
Nothing.
Don't make me play one of these.
Go ahead. See
But-
what you can find. You
I'll put more. But
it's funny every time that thing overloads when she gets right up on it.
yeah.
It's funny.
Because I boosted it because she was sitting so far back, so I bumped the mic a
Well,
little.
no.
So
I
then
go
when
for-
she starts doing what she's supposed to do, now it's
like-
yelling at her.
I don't like you, sir.
I was just trying to make sure people heard you.
Oh, they'll hear her.
I've never been accused of being quiet. That is one thing I have never been called. Like, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said. What was that? Because I'm half deaf, so I always am loud, like, so I can hear me. And sometimes other people are like, why are you screaming?
And it's funny you put a mic in front of me, and you look at the thing like I can't, like, and I'm turned up on the thing.
Yeah.
So
He is for now.
I can't yell. I'm not I don't project on the microphone like the other person.
That's because
has
it's
these
halfway
headsets.
up your nose.
Yeah, you don't even
You
have
gotta
it
put
by
it
your
down.
mouth. There you go.
It still doesn't matter.
Like, you had it shoved up your nostril. You're not going to hear a lot on that. Like, maybe wheezing. I don't know.
Hear Jim breathing.
Or Saturday night.
Yeah.
That's our Saturday night.
You know, as far as that, like, and the other topics that we get on, like, I'll have to get my phone back from my kid here before long, and then I can read the thing. But, you know, with kids just dealing with creepy things, like, kids always have imaginary friends, right?
Here we
You
go.
know, no, I'm talking, like, with my kids, too.
Yeah.
But my brother, you know, always growing up, mom always said imaginary friend. Now, I've always been a medium type, so I can see things, always have been able to. And he would always have this imaginary friend. Now, normally you think imaginary friends, they're going to have, you know, some silly names. You know, you're going to name it Fluffy or Bunny or, you know, Charlie or whatever. Like a name they've heard at school, a name they've whatever. But this dude's name was Wilcom.
Welcome.
And this was in the early 70s. Its name was Wilcom. And he rode a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, and he always wore a leather jacket. Okay. And that was my brother's imaginary friend.
Pretty specific.
For years and years. And he would have specific conversations. And I was sitting there trying to tell my mom, that's not imaginary. No, you
Right.
can't see him, but he's not pretend. Like, he talks to Scott. Like, you know, my brother's like, he talks to him. And, you know, and one day when, I think, gosh, he was getting ready to go into like 4th grade or something like that. He's like, Welcome just got on his Harley one day and just rode away. Never talked to him again. You know, and Mom's like, oh, that's the imaginary friend. I'm like, no, that's not what that was. You know, but for her, it was like, she just wanted to believe that it was an imaginary friend so she wouldn't have to deal with it.
Right.
You know, because other than that, you're like, okay, well, then that either means we're crazy or some shit's going south. Like, you know, and I think the way she dealt with me all the time was just, oh, you're just imagining things. Oh, you're seeing things. You're, you know, if you keep talking like that, we're going to put you on medication type stuff like that. But, you know, it's like, no, not crazy.
Right.
You know, it'd be so much easier if I were. I just take medication, it all goes away. Like, you know, the voices have stopped. But it's not. Like, and it's hard. Like, you'll be driving all of a sudden and be like, what the hell was out on the side of the road? Nobody else saw it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, no, there was something there. Swear to God. There was a deer just in front of this damn truck. Just was there. You saw it too, right? Yeah. Okay. Where the hell did it go? Like, it was there and it didn't run away. It just gone. Mm-hmm. Spirit deer. Like, what the hell? And it was on the Indian grounds. Mm-hmm. So, the Miami Indians. And I was like, okay then. Alrighty. It's good times. And we'll just keep on moving. I'm just going to turn around. We're going to drive the other way. It's fine.
You know how pissed at that I'd be if it was like season.
Oh, gosh,
I wasted
yeah.
a bullet on that. God damn it.
Yeah, 'cause it was a
Where the
game,
hell did I loaded this thing at?
right?
Where do I get more?
I just dissipated it, like, because it was a good-sized doe.
Total platonic reversal.
I was just
But-
getting ready to say that.
Do you know what's weird about it was, you know, when I told you about it, you asked me, well, was it white? And I was like, well, kind of. I said, the way it looked to me was like a super, super light color.
Yeah.
But when you look at them at, like, trail cams or, like, when the hunter's out there and they see me, they've got kind of that whitish-greenish
Yeah, they
color.
always have that look.
That's what it looked like.
We neutralized it.
Yeah, it was that greenish, like, looking through a trail cam
Yeah.
look. And then just,
Yeah.
gone. And I'm like, okay, now that's bullshit. Okay, I'm just here to camp. I'm just here to have a good time. Like, now I gotta deal with magical deer. Alright, fine. Can't find a unicorn, but I found a magical deer.
It's close.
Close enough. I'll take it.
It's got horns.
Right?
Just more than one.
What
And
was
then
it,
I
a
get
buck
closer
or a doe?
to, it was a doe. And then,
So that it didn't have horns. You
No.
still got screwed.
right? Not even horned. But then I get home, and the real deer jumps out in front of the car. I'm like, oh, God.
I ain't slowing down for this one.
No.
Oh, my God.
And he had horns. So, but I knew he's there because his family lives right back in that woods right behind my house.
Yeah.
So I knew, and he like jumped, like cleared all the railroad tracks, that whole hill, and back down to the other woods. I was like, dude, you're gonna lose an ankle on that. Them are big old like rolling rocks. So,
Yeah.
but I mean that was crazy to see that and just watch it disappear. And I was like, okay, as if this weekend wasn't weird enough. Like, let's just keep the craziness rolling. And when you hear things like when you camp out there the one year, my brother and I were like, we swear to God, somebody met Sasquatch. Because, you know, at first we thought, oh, it's just, you know, the drunken pirates down there again at the pirate camp, you know, or the natives. Because
Heard some howling.
no, we always hear like them doing their coyote howls and their, you know, yip, 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 yips and all that stuff when the natives get drunk. It happens, and do that, and then. But this year, you know, and Scott and I, we each had, we didn't even drink anything. This was like 2 years ago. We heard this blood curdling scream from a man, like like something was, and then it sounded like something was getting ripped apart and the grunting noises and just all these noises. I'm like, well, somebody got eaten or they're impregnated by Sasquatch, because it was that bad. Like, it was bad enough that we looked at each other and we're like, okay, time to turn in for the night. Let's go lock our tents with the ties on our canvas. So secure. Like,
I don't know. I think if it was that bad, I wouldn't have been like camping that night. Like,
well, we didn't.
Well, so
No, because to get to our cars, we had to walk through that.
oh,
Yeah. So it was, well, at least I got canvas. At least I got like 3 seconds of time.
Yeah, because that really worked for the guys at the Outlaw Pass.
yeah, no kidding.
I'm like, yeah, but my thing was, at least, you know, when you're up with all the camps, like, well, there's other people around, so maybe they won't come to my tent first. Maybe I'll have a chance to get away.
I don't have to outrun it. I just have to outrun Susan.
Right? Like, you're sleeping with one of those, you know, wrought iron tent stakes. Come at me, I'll stake you.
Come at me, bro.
But it was bad. Like, Scott and I both, you know, and we're used to nature. We're used to, like, and we're used to drunks. You're like, whatever. And, you know, we're listening to that, and all of a sudden that one hit, and we both just looked at each other and went, did you hear that? Yeah? Did you hear that? Yeah. Oh, okay. We're just, we're gonna pretend we didn't. We're gonna go to bed now. Like, it's like, not.
Anybody reported missing that year?
Yeah.
I don't know, and I wasn't gonna look because people come from
I
all
would've.
over the country, so I wouldn't even know where to look from. Because
Hey, Joe the blacksmith isn't open today.
Well, it was the last day though, and a lot of people leave Sunday morning. So you don't know, like, because it doesn't have to be a merchant. It could be, you know, a lot of people come just to camp, just to, you know, have the whole reenactor type of a thing, and you know, just come out to have fun and hang out with friends that you only get to see once, twice, 3 times a year. But you know, they, like, for an example, they come from all over. Like, you know, the ones next to us are actually, you know, they're my boss's neighbor, family. And then right beside them is the root beer place, and they come from 3-4 states away. And then the one on the other side of us, they come from southern Illinois, you know. Yeah. And then there are people that drive all the way from California and Wisconsin.
You were saying something other about those people that come from, like, England and shit,
yes,
too, right?
Yes.
For the military side of it.
You know, and it's funny because it's like some of them don't just play British, they are British.
Right.
You know, and there are people there and they all wear their kilts and they play the bagpipes, and I mean, they're real cannons, they're real bagpipes, they're real guns. Like, the only thing is they just don't put the cannonball in it, but they still do all of the, you know, gunpowder and explosions and the horses and bagpipes and flutes and drums. So it's really, really cool. I love doing it, but that was pretty scary and pretty sketchy. Like, we talked about it this year, like, okay, because I was like, well, I'm not sleeping out here this year. It's going to be really cold, and I don't live that far away, so I'll just come back every morning. And Scott was like, yeah, well, I'm sleeping out here. I was like, well, Godspeed, soldier.
Don't get
You're on the cannon crew. Just remember, you got a cannon right there. You know,
Messing with Sasquatch, 1812 edition.
right? It's like if you think something's coming at you, just, you know, get the gunpowder ready and start throwing rocks in the end of that cannon. It's like, send something out.
turn it into a giant blunderbuss.
Right? Like, something got to go. Get the pirate gun if you have to.
Stakes.
10 stakes.
Something, yeah.
Beehive at some bitch to a tree.
Turn that cannon into a flechette
You
shooter.
have been stapled, sir.
Flechette round coming out of a cannon. That would
See,
be
you
epic.
got this. You got talking about cannons after all.
You did.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was, you know.
You mean like the Bradley Strike, Bradley or the Striker? And there it is.
But no, craziness does happen. Like, you know, and scary things, like, even when it's not Halloween, it's like, you're just out in the woods, you're out in the middle of no freaking where, and all of a sudden, you know, the howling begins. And you're like, I don't know what I want to do with this. Okay, Chris, I'm going to, like, throw your computer mouse here. Because it's like, where
Well,
did
then you'll
everything
never
go?
find it.
Oh, wait a minute, I thought I had it for a second.
No quick
Oh, there
movement.
it Well, it's, I don't know what I clicked on. But
What'd you do?
it won't come over here.
What'd you do? Just keep sliding it. Just keep moving.
I am. Jackass. I just, like, stop. There we go. Ooh, all right, so we will be back after this next commercial here if I can ever find all the right buttons to hit. So we'll come back, and I will have the information off of my phone that I
Finding the
looked
right
up.
button.
So
I'm not
all
going to
right.
say.
Yeah, welcome back. We finally made it back. We're going to do this crazy thing called switching off and on the board so we can both kind of get a little bit more used to it. And that way neither one of us is completely stressed out by the end of the night. So it is a lot to deal with. Gives us both a much larger, healthier respect for the producer that always runs all of these 10 screens. It would be much easier if we could actually find the little bitty cursor that's on the mouse, because we have to go through 3 and 4 different screens, you know. So to be able to find the mouse, you're like, where did it go? And then you start to panic because you're like, oh my god, it's dead air. Oh my god, hurry up. And then you really can't find it. So it just makes it worse and it snowballs into hell.
Pretty much, yeah.
But that's where we're at right now. So, and I let him over there because he did create this new little board with all the sound effects, and I was having fun with it on break, just playing all of them.
Oh, yeah.
So, you have to, make sure your audio's in and then hit it.
I will.
But
When it's
he
applicable.
probably will get wounded for this. I do have projectiles to throw, so it's fine.
Are you threatening me?
No. Not yet.
Yeah, I know.
Are you threatening me?
I do need that one.
Are you threatening my people? But, no, what I was going to say was...
I won't hurt him. Much.
Exactly.
True. I mean, I won't hurt you to the point of the hospital, but that's about all I'm going to promise.
Well, you know.
So, let's see. I'm trying to find it on here. Okay. What is crazy to me is that we know a little girl that has an imaginary friend and has had one. And then all of a sudden this imaginary friend changed.
Yeah.
It went from... Can I say the names of the friends?
Yeah, you can say the names of the friends.
The first one was Paul. And which, you know, her parents were like, well, you know, she kind of explained him like alien type. And they were like, well, you know, she's seen the Paul movie and all that. So that's, that's kind of like, we'll just leave it at that and all that. Well, then she comes up with this new, quote unquote, imaginary friend. And its name is Lisa, which, her parents were like, that's kind of a weird name for an imaginary friend. That's kind of like a real person name.
Right, and it's my understanding that they don't even know Elisa, and she doesn't know Elisa.
Right.
That's what's
right.
odd
That
about
there's
it.
not one in the family, and there's not one, a friend. There's no friend at school, because most kids will be like, oh, this friend's name at school, or, like a childlike thing, like I'll call it Fluffy Bunny, or, if you're going to come up with a name, it's going to be something silly like Demetrius, not Lisa.
Boo boo. Yeah.
Right. And this Lisa apparently is much nicer, although she ran Paul the hell off. Mm-hmm. Like, not there anymore. And she could explain it and draw pictures of this Lisa. Lisa has blood coming from her eyes, no legs. We float, we talk magically, through brain power. Yeah. We don't need arms. We don't need a mouth. But I'm like, okay. And then these little guys, beside her. But then, and then she's very descriptive and very, like, you're thinking, there's no way, because this child is, like, 5, 6 years old, something like kindergarten age, like, little.
Yeah.
There's no way their brain would be able to come up with the information that's, oh, well, she comes into space, she only comes when I call her, but she always comes at night if I need her,
right.
And at first is what she likes to eat. Well, she likes to eat pigs.
Well, she's not a Muslim then.
Well, and I know that her mom had asked her, like, well, do you mean, like, raw pig or cooked pig? Like, sausage and bacon? And she's like, well, yeah. It's like, okay. But then later on, she tells her, do you want to know what else she eats? And we're like, her mom was like, okay, sure, because she's very involved in her child's life. Like, okay, well, tell me, baby. Like, let me know what's going on. I want to know your friend, too.
Right.
And she'd tell her, she eats cooked humans when they're not nice to their families. And I'm like, what? So of course the mom was like instant cold chills, like, oh God, here we go. Even so far as to have this child on video, like explaining things and saying, no, she's right there. And then when you look back through the video, you can actually see
a distortion.
That distortion there, where she says, she's right by you, mommy. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I think
Houston, we have ourselves a problem. And then she calls her an imaginary friend, but then when you say, okay, so is she imaginary? No, she's real. Why is she imaginary?
Right.
Well, because you can't see her.
Right.
I see her in my mind. And I talk to her in my mind. But she's there. She's real.
Right.
Like, so it's like, all right, now, where I'm going with this, I talked to my daughter about it. Mm-hmm. Because she's very spiritual and stuff. So I talked to her, and I'm like, she's like, what did you say the name was? And I said, Lisa. She goes, no. What'd you say the name was? I said, Lisa. She goes, what'd she look like? And so I showed her, because I'd sent a picture through a message, and I showed her the picture, and she goes, oh shit, Mom, hang on. She pulls up this thing and sends it to me. And it's, let's see, it's on viralscape.com, so I'll give them their thing there. But it says 11 pictures drawn by a girl who had an imaginary friend. The last one sent chills down my spine. You know, and as it says, most children play pretend games, and they're toys, and they name things, and they're very imaginative. But sometimes, you know, the interaction, they say, creeps out adults. It's like, yeah, but some of the interactions, you're like, okay, they can't be making this up.
Right.
There's no way that they're
Right.
making this up. But this child drew these pictures, and they looked so similar
It's kind of
to
crazy.
the pictures that were drawn by this little girl. And I'm just like, oh my God. So when I got that, instantly I like sent it out to her parents, like, please read this. Like, you have to, like, please make sure, you know, I sent it to one parent, I was like, please make sure the other one gets it. Like, we need to look at this.
Right.
Because it drew those pictures, and this is the crazy part. Like, this has gone viral, and that's what's crazy is I didn't know about it till now. And she's doing this, what, a week, 2 weeks ago? Started 3 weeks ago, something like that?
Something like that.
And then it says, under this first drawing, it says, this is Lisa.
Yeah.
She is my friend. My mom and dad can't see her, so they say she is, you know, an imaginary friend. Lisa is a nice friend. And that's the one thing this little girl says. She's so nice to me. You know, she's so nice. She's so much nicer than Paul.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, there's creep factor 2,000. Then there's another picture, and she's drawn another one. And it says, today I tried to plant a flower in the yard. I tried to plant it by the sandbox, but Lisa said that's where her daddy is sleeping. So I planted it in a cup of dirt. I went, all right. So far, this imaginary friend's pretty sketchy at best.
Right.
And she always has the bloody eyes and the no feet. I don't need feet. You know, I don't need a mouth. It is blood and all this. And then it was, Lisa's at school with me today. I brought her for show and tell, but Mrs. Monroe got angry because she can't see Lisa. Lisa got sad, so she hid the chalkboard eraser. Then there was another picture drawn with the Lisa in it, and it says, yesterday was my birthday party. Mommy bought pizza, but no one came. Lisa said people came to the porch and left, but they left presents. I got 3 Barbies, some shoes, and $5. Me and Lisa played Barbies. And there's another one where it's like snack time, stuff like that. It says, Mrs. Monroe is absent today. Our substitute is named Mrs. Digman. She is pretty and nice, and she is letting us have snack time after diary time. I wish Miss Digman could stay our teacher. Today, Jonathan Parker stole my pencil case. Mrs. Digman can't find it, so she made him give me his pencils. Lisa came to school too, but Mrs. Digman can't see her. She said she believes Lisa is real, though. And then there's another one that says, yesterday, me and Lisa went on a long walk until the moon came out. Daddy got mad and said Lisa is stupid and fake. Lisa got sad and disappeared. Today she didn't come to school, but Mrs. Digman said that Mrs. Monroe won't come back. The next one says, Daddy was at work all day yesterday. He didn't come home to eat dinner. Today he's still at work. Mom packed me a pudding in my lunch today. Pudding is my favorite. So you can tell she's still being a kid. I mean, she's a kid, but it's like there's more and more and more interactions with this Lisa.
Right.
And so far, this Lisa is sounding a little more and more not so nice. And then it says, I miss Lisa. Daddy is really busy at work. He didn't come home at the weekend. Mom is mad at him. I'm going to write a letter for Lisa. The next one is, Dear Lisa, I miss you. Please come back. I'm sorry for when my daddy was mean. You are my best friend. So here you've got this going on. Like, so much manipulation over this poor little child. Like, you've got parents saying one thing, teachers saying another thing, and then this imaginary friend going, I'll just ghost on you. You know, I'll leave for a while.
Right.
And then, Lisa came back yesterday. She said sorry for leaving, and I told her my dad won't come home. Lisa said Mrs. Monroe and him are sleeping like her dad. I hope they wake up soon. I'm like, okay. You know, and it says that's one story that would make Stephen King proud, you know. It's like, I don't think that's an imaginary friend. Like, that's creepy as I'll get at. In fact, I know it's not an imaginary friend. And the fact that there's that story with the same name, the same drawings, even the same color hair.
Right.
Same color dress. It's just like, and now it's just moving on. It's almost like a demonic type of a presence. You know, because at first it was like, well, almost 70, but then when it comes more and more and more, and then saying, you know, the way she said, and then reading this, it kind of brings more light to the fact that this little girl said she eats people when they're mean to their families. And
Right.
all of these people here seem to be mean to Lisa, or Lisa got them because they were mean to this little girl. You know? And so it's like, all right, guess we all better be really nice. We go up there, so we're going to say hi to Lisa and give her some pie. I don't know what we're going to do.
Something told
But-
me Mom and Dad are probably stressing a little bit.
Yeah, and I wouldn't blame them. Like, could you? Like, this would be so just out there stressful, because then you're like, you know, every parent's like, okay, if it's
right, Mommy?
right, but then you know, that's not even the half of it. I mean, the parents have to be sitting there going like, if it was a real person or an animal or a real like a physical threat that I could see and I could feel, like I'll just go choke it out. We'll be done with it.
Right.
You know, we'll make you go away. But when it's something like this, it's like, okay, now what do I do?
Right.
Because I don't want my child hurt physically, mentally, psychologically. I don't want any parent. I don't want the parents hurt or any of the family members messed with.
Right.
Because even if they can't physically do it, it's like, what happens? You know, whoop, you magically had a stroke. Like,
Yeah.
shit happens. And it's like, okay, so like I saw that and I was like, oh Lord. And then my daughter showed me that story and I was like, okay, it was bad enough before. Now it's real bad.
Yeah.
Because she's not the only one.
Right.
You don't know if it's the same Lisa, but it's
Right.
not the same kid.
Correct.
And the thing here is this kid has had so many interactions. Let's see, the story of Lisa. Oh my gosh, there's more. Okay, since going viral, it's been sending chills down the spines of online horror communities. Let's see. It's called The Pink Backpack. Huh. Well, I'll read over some more of that, and we can come back to it. But
It's a creepypasta.
Huh?
It's a creepypasta.
A creepy pasta.
Like Slender Man.
I
Yeah,
don't know,
but
it's talking
Slender Man actually like caused some people to die though.
about- Yeah.
So, you know, there is something to be said about the creepy pasta, you know, when they make up something and it's taken on a life of itself, you know,
Yeah.
that's different. I mean,
Yeah, it's
It-
just, it's insane. Like, and these drawings are just freaking crazy. Like, there's the original story, and I'll have to read more on it, on this, you know, other part of it. But it's like, what do you do? What do you say to those parents to, you know, calm their nerves? Because my nerves are not calm. Like,
yeah.
how could you be calm with that? Like,
Right.
oh, it's fine. Let's just go sprinkle some jasmine and salt. Like, that works for some things, but I don't know if it's going to work for something like that.
Well, yeah, but it couldn't hurt. I mean,
No, it's not going to hurt. Like, because it's a protective thing. So, jasmine and salt together, it's like, and either a candle purple. Any of you out there listening that, you know, need something like, even if you just want to sleep better, like have a purple nightlight, purple candle, something. I don't suggest sleeping with a candle because you don't want to burn your house down. But a purple nightlight or a purple bulb, you can get purple bulbs for ambiance. Get that.
especially this time of year.
Yes, get that, and
Although-
get either.
You'd want a black light in some rooms, I guess.
Right. Well, and you can get a jasmine scented, those wax melt things
Yeah.
that you put in there. You can get, actually in those little Febreze plugins, you can get jasmine, or you can just get jasmine essential oil and put a couple drops on a pillow. That way, at least you're protected all night
Oh, yeah,
long
or-
when you sleep.
Or for that matter, you could use sandalwood or
Yeah.
sage or,
Yeah.
you know.
You know, it really, I mean, whatever's readily available as far as those few things, sandalwood, sage, or jasmine. Those are the strongest as far as protection goes. But I'm just like, okay, well, we're going to have to, you know, talk to the parents of this little girl and be like, okay, well, here's the thing. It's like, here's what needs to be done, or what are you willing to do? Because in situations like that, when it comes to a child, and I know that they struggle because these particular folks are no longer together, but they are still a very strong family unit. You know, they still do everything for the kids together, and let's keep each other informed on everything, which is awesome in this day and age. Because most of the time when people get divorced, they're like, screw you, I'll deal with this, you move on.
Right.
And that's not the case. But the thing is like, okay, but now we have to figure out what you need to do, you know, as, you know, say the mother has the custody of the kids. What does she need to do in the home? Because she has dominion there.
Right.
What does she need to do? And then what does the father need to come over and help with, or with the child? You know, and make sure that his place where, you know, she visits is okay. You know, and then they're going to have to get together on some parts and go, okay, because, you know, we are both parents of this child.
Right.
and she is under dress. You know, we need to address this together.
Right.
To make a stronger front.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what I think they should do there. But I don't know, that whole Lisa thing is insane. Like, and like I said, because her just coming up with that, it's not like she can, you know, hop on the internet and read on Reddit or Virus or, you know, PopCon horror stories.
Right.
You know, she's a baby. Like, there's no way, like, you know, even if somebody read it to her, there's no way she could be.
The only thing I could think of would be maybe YouTube, if it was something that was seen on YouTube.
But then how could she be so descriptive with everything?
Well, I imagine there's probably, you know, like when my daughter watches some of the YouTube stuff, you know, it's like she likes Jesse and Mike and Jeffy, and you know, we don't let her watch Jeffy, but
right. I don't even watch Jeffy. Good Lord.
Some of them are pretty descriptive with things, you know.
Yeah,
so
but
I can see that.
I don't know. This is a lot. This is a lot.
It is quite a bit.
And to watch this child,
she
you
would
look
have
at
to
her.
have sponged it all right in.
Yeah, and to look
back.
at this child when she talks to and about this Lisa, you can tell she's got very strong mediumship abilities building. She doesn't understand what that is, but it's there.
Right.
But it's like she's afraid to talk about Lisa. You know, when her mom's asking her questions about this Lisa, she's looking at the ground. She's looking away. She's, you know, she looks very uncomfortable. She'll still tell her because that's mommy and I'm answering questions.
Right.
But she's very uncomfortable, almost, I wouldn't say a point of fearful, but just on the edge of, I probably shouldn't be saying this. Yeah. But mom asked, so I'm going to tell her. Mm-hmm. So that is like, yeah, this bitch got to go. Like, we got to figure this out.
Right.
Like, this is not okay. Because it's ridiculous. Like, there's no way that this child should have to deal with that.
Right.
Like, yeah.
I've never encountered anything like it.
No, I haven't either. And, you know, and according to the story we're going to read, like on our next break, I'll read through it and kind of filter. It's like, this has been going on for a very long time. Many, many, many years. Yeah. Like, you know, and it's like, wow. Right. It's insane. Like, because there's no way that generation after generation of toddlers, basically, is going to come up with the same thing over and over.
Right, right.
And that's what's scary. And it's not, everything is pigeonholed into it's exactly the same thing. No, it's the same premise. It's the same name. It's the same, like, mindset. It's the same behaviors of this Lisa. Mm-hmm. But each kid, it's different. Yeah. But the one thing that they all say the same is she's very nice to me. And anyone that's not nice to me, bad shit happens. Right. You know, and it's the same with all of them over the years. You know, and this is just from back when people started, you know, recording stuff like that.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, too. It's like, what's the trade-off for it?
I don't know.
What does it get out of the deal?
Eating humans.
Well, yeah. I mean, it gets lunch, I guess. So.
Yeah. Or energies or whatever it needs to, you know, feed off of, I guess, is a way to put it. I don't know. Right. But it's creepy is what it is. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, well, now it's got a name. Now it's got a face. Now you know more of the story. So now, you know, her parents are better able to research. Mm-hmm. Because research and knowledge is the most powerful weapon you can have, especially with stuff like that. Especially stuff you can't see. Right. You know it's there, but you can't see it. Right. You know, and then you're thinking, gosh, if I do one thing wrong, is that going to come back on my kid? You know, so I do not envy her parents right now. In fact, I'm like, I'll just send you any healing energies over there I can, because, yeah, Godspeed, good luck. Like, right. I'll bring you a pile of lavender and sage. I'll do what I can. Right. But, you know, it's like, that's one of those things that I wouldn't start to mess with until you know exactly what it is. Right. And how to deal with it. Like, I can't call me no Sam Winchester and just come over here and deal with it like that. But, you know, it can be dealt with, but we've got to...
Supernatural, the other worst thing to ever happen to the world. But right after the Ouija board.
But we need to figure out exactly what you're dealing with. And what, you know, anytime you mess with something, you want to know what you're dealing with. Right. So, you know, I need to tell... you know, her mom and dad, like, don't do anything crazy. I mean, still do the little things, you know, that we've already talked about and things like that, but don't ever, like, just try and head on with it if you don't know what you're dealing with, because you don't want to just piss it off like, you know, the bull in a china shop and it just tear out everything.
Well, I mean, sometimes there's, you know, something to be said for doing that.
I know, but not with things like this. And I know that, her dad's very upset about it and wanting to go in there like, Big Daddy Brahma Bull. But there are some things that parents have to realize that you have to be diplomatic about. There's a different approach. You can't always take things on head on.
Right. But,
sometimes there's a delicate touch and a delicate balance that has to happen.
Right.
But we will take this thought into the next break because that's where we're getting ready to go. And when we come back, we will discuss more, and I'll read up a little bit more on that story, and then we can, talk about a few more things.
Okay. Well, we will be back right after this break.
Welcome back, guys, and here we are again talking about some creepy kid stuff and hauntings and all of that funness. We were discussing the whole Lisa thing, which, you can look on there, and originally it started out with some, a 19-year-old kid saying, yes, I wrote that, it was my horror story, and everybody's, changed it around, this, that, and the other. What I think is that, he might have been 19 when he wrote the story, but I think some happened to him when he was a kid. And then when he started getting all kinds of flack about it, he was like, oh, no, it was just a story I wrote, blah, blah, blah. Well, that doesn't change if, all of these kids are still having it happen. Like I said, it's not like it's teenagers going, oh, yeah, this happened. No, it's littles that are saying that. So, I mean, that's all about that. So, I don't know. I think it's just, if it was, just a story, well, kudos to you, buddy. It was a good story, and maybe it's just coincidental that it's the same name. But I don't think so. I don't think that it was, something he made up. There was just too much there.
Right.
For that to be, oh, it's just something I said. So, and I know that it's not something that this little girl would just say. There's not the capacity for that. And children don't have the capacity for that type of, I wouldn't say lie, but they don't have the capacity for that type of deception.
Right.
When they're that age. They just don't. I don't know. It's weirdness. Like, kids have these things. But, other things that, like with creepy things, like when they come up with creepy movies that kids are in. Like when kids star in creepy movies. Like, some of them just to me are stupid. Like the Chucky movies. It's all about the kids and their doll, blah, blah, blah. Okay. It's a doll. Kick it, light it, blowtorch it,
right.
Watch it melt.
They did.
No, they didn't burn it all the way down because all he had was some soot. They did not light him correctly. It's called a flamethrower and gasoline. That doll would be done. Done.
Well, it's the spirit in it that moves from doll to doll.
Okay, then my kids wouldn't have one doll in the dang house. Not one.
Well, no, that's true.
Not one.
That's they kill him everything, and he comes back either by.
Then why don't they call a young priest and an old priest and a bunch of holy water, maybe some mediums and a shaman, a Reiki master? I don't know, but exercise his ass on up out of here.
Because it's about
it is a young boy.
It's a $30-40 million property, so they're just going to keep
on going. I'm like,
it's like, why don't they kill the little guy riding around on the thing who's chopping people up?
Yeah, they make these people. The parents and the adults, they make them so retarded in these movies. Like, okay, why wouldn't you do this? Well, because then they wouldn't make that much money off of the, movie royalties. But
right?
I'm just like, that is, to me, is so stupid. It's like, yeah, it's about the kids. And Pet Sematary, when that kid comes back from the grave and he's all like, I played with Mommy, now I play with you too. That's creepy. That is creepy. Like, I will not watch that movie because of that part right there.
Oh, good.
Creep
By the
me
way,
out.
they've remade it. It's
Not going to watch it. Not going to watch it.
This time there's more kids in the family than
I
just
played
the
with
little...
everyone. No, you did not. No, you did not. You don't play with like switchblades. No.
That was a pretty, when the kid just flipped up and went.
Yeah, that creeped me out. And I have kids. Like, I'm like, no.
Well, your kid's creepy anyway.
I know, but he come up like that, I would punt him without even thinking about it. It would be like a football.
The whole,
puts the lotion on the skin. Yeah, he was like 2. That was still the funniest shit ever, though. God love my poor husband. Oh, he puts up with some stuff. But, you know, if anybody out there has any ideas,
could imagine.
any ideas on, crazy horror movies or kids, about kids or around kids or things like that. That's
Put your
because
Kindergarten
kid
Cop.
I did put my kid in a horror movie. We made one, yeah, and he was creepy. Like I did the makeup and hair for the kids, and Buddy, I did a good job because because when you look at it, you're like, oh my damn. All right, I'm not sleeping tonight. Just gonna stay with my door shut and sleeping with my gun. It's fine.
Yeah, you gave my son a concussion.
Well, he had
He
it coming.
deserved it.
He had it coming.
He deserved it, but
And it was with a rubber mallet, so it's not like I hit him hard. It was like a styrofoam sledgehammer-looking prop thing. You said to make it real. I made it real.
oh no, it looked great on film.
Yeah. And he fell down. He did. But no, I'm like, but because we know that horror movies with kids in them are creepy.
Omen.
They are creepier than any other movie out there. Especially when those little kids are evil and they're so cute and evil. And I think that's what it is. You're like, oh, you're so cute.
Village
I'm
of the
still
Damned.
going to light you on fire, but you're cute. Yeah. Children of the Corn. Village of the Damned. Like, all of that stuff. I'm like, why are kids, like, psychotic?
Speaking of Omen, it's kind of a comedy riff on the whole situation, but Good Omens is getting ready to come out.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
Based on the Neil Gaiman, Terry Pratchett book Good Omens, where you have a demon and an angel get together to try to thwart the apocalypse
Oh.
by moving the Antichrist from the house it's supposed to go into to like the regular neighborhood, so he grows up good. And then everything goes sideways when
that'd be funny.
when the child that they swapped for doesn't have any abilities. And
I don't care about that.
There's no stopping me now. I have
Right?
A cart.
He's got the buttons.
I have a cart.
So,
roll.
but yeah, it's, I don't know. Like, I don't get creeped out about the movies like Saw. I don't get creeped out by movies, where it's just the blood and gore and the, adults and stuff.
torture
But
porn does not.
Yeah, mindless violence. Yeah.
Doesn't get me, but to me, when you have children involved, that to me is a psychological thriller because I'm a mom. I love children. Like they're the best creations on the planet, and then when they're just evil, they're flat scary as hell.
They're all evil.
No,
Yeah.
not like some. There's some
Yeah.
where you look at that and you're just like, all right, you need to just go sit in a glass box with no door to get out. Like, no, go away. Because there's no, I don't know, there's no like fixing that in your mind of how that's okay. Like, it's not okay at all.
Santus Damien. Oh, sorry.
Right? Like, no. But, I don't know. It's just, those movies they unsettle me a lot. And so I won't watch any more of them. Like, as I'm getting older, I'm like, no, I want to be able to sleep tonight and the rest of my life. So, no more little psycho children at all in the movies because I
Right.
don't like it.
Right.
But, I mean, as far as, horror movies, yeah, awesome, fun, good times. I love Halloween, so that kind of comes with the territory. But like you said, I don't like just slasher movies. I don't like, as you said, blood porn, murder porn, whatever you want to call it. But
Murder porn's what you watch on ID television.
yeah, I do. I love ID television, but that's because I want to learn from their mistakes. I don't want to do it wrong. Like, they got caught for that. Don't do that. So, but, the ones about the kids, they will scare me, and they will leave me with nightmares. Oh gosh, what was that one called? Stephen King movie, the only one that wasn't children involved, but it still creeped me out. Was it Stephen King movie? Was it called Sleepwalkers? It was the...
Tommy knockers.
No, it was with the people that they were afraid of cats. They're almost like a skinwalker type of a
Yeah, I think it was
Cat's Eye.
Sleepwalkers.
Sleepwalkers. Yeah, I had it right the first time.
Yeah.
But it kind of freaked me out a little bit. I was like, ooh, because it's more of like a mess with your mind kind of show. And to me, those are the scary ones because it's like, oh god, I had to think about that. That's not okay. I don't know. What's one of the scariest movies you've seen, Stafford, as far as like Halloween scary movie type of a thing?
Scariest movie
Yeah.
I've seen. Halloween.
Like one you'd be like, nope, I ain't watching that again.
Titanic.
That is not a Halloween movie.
No, it's not, but it's a horror movie.
That's just because it was real.
It's a movie that he doesn't want to watch again.
Right.
Like my son's dad, he refuses to watch the movie Carrie because of when the the hand comes up out of the grave at the end and flips me. He's like, nope, done, not watching it ever.
I don't think there's a...
And it doesn't have to be like the whole movie, but just like one point of it makes you go, you know what, that's effed up, I'm not doing it.
No, there's not really a movie that is like it for me. I mean, they're all just movies.
Yeah.
I see more twisted shit in real life.
Yeah, well, you did guard the prison for years.
No, I mean...
So, I mean,
there's
that's
too,
pretty
but-
much a horror story.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like my brother and I were talking. I was like, I see way too much on a daily basis. Like, he even told me today, he's like, I should have had you out on the battlefield this weekend. I was like, I was selling candy. I didn't have my own cannon. It's just not something that I have on standby. Oh, you need that extra cannon? Let me just go home and get one. I don't have that. But he did say that there were so many weird presences on the battlefield, and I did notice that the horses that were there, these horses are trained for that. They're trained to be around cannons and guns and all this noise and all this chaos. They do it every single year, and they're fine.
They looked awful
This year-
restless by their tracks out there.
This year, they were all skittish as hell. And certain areas, they refused to go. And I told Scott, I said, yeah, and just like he said, tracks and stuff like that is one thing. And they were just stomp, 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 stomp. And that's one thing I was talking about. They're just all together. It's like, you could tell they were stomping in like, I'm not going. Because they were like pushed. But he said he wished you were there. He's like, he says, I can sense him. He's like, but you can see him, and you could probably tell me what they were and exactly where they were at. I was like, well, probably, and there's probably a good reason I wasn't out there. Like, because when you have the cannons and the guns, and that's an actual battlefield, that's where actual people died. Like, so yeah, you're gonna wake that stuff up. They still do that at like Gettysburg and things like that. They'll do their ghost hunting or whatever it is, but they'll have their trigger stuff like, let's go shoot a cannon. Let's go shoot some guns.
The best part about stuff like with the battlefield, Gettysburg, is the stories about reenactors coming in from the field,
Yeah.
this, that, and the other, and there's more people coming out of the field
Then
than
went
into the field.
Yeah. Or they'll say, yeah, I was talking to this guy, and he said his name was this and that, and all the groups are together going, we don't have anybody by that name.
Right.
Like, that's not any of us.
When you're going down the road and you see all the reenactors out there, and then you pass by a regiment
Right.
walking in formation, whatever, walking past you, and then you turn around and say,
And they're
hey,
gone.
did you see those?
Yeah.
Where did they go?
Yeah. Or you're trying to say, yeah, all this is going on, and then everybody's like, no, you're the only people here. Like, there's no one else here, I promise you. So that's... But to me, that kind of stuff is cool. Like, I like the whole ghost issue, except for one particular house I lived in. That house creeped me out because it was like a doorway, I swear to hell. Like, there's no way that house was good. No way.
So my question is what would be different this year? Because you said that this normal, this wasn't normal.
Right.
So what was different this year out there?
I don't know. I mean, none of us could put our finger on it, but every person out there, reenactors, vendors, merchants, everybody was like, it just felt off. Like, there was no one thing, no two things or whatever. It's that feeling where even if you're just walking through the trees, it's like, it just feels off. To where usually when I go back after everyone's left and stuff, and I'll go up there to make sure we haven't left any of our tent stakes, our ropes, any of that, and then I just walk around, before I would always be like, well, everything's fine, I'll just go ahead and leave. This time I went up 2 days in a row, and I haven't done that before. But 2 days in a row, and then the second day I stayed like 7-8 hours out there just walking and trying to listen and hear and find out, like, okay, what's wrong? What's going on? And it started out as unsettled, and then as it wore on, it was like things were calming down, like, okay, everybody's gone now. I can calm down. So I don't know what was different about this year. I mean, it's the same time of year that we always have it. Mm-hmm. The only thing I can think of is we usually have it like the first weekend of October, and this year it was like mid-October, just this past weekend. That's the only difference that I can tell. That, and they moved some of the camps around, where this was the side for just military. Now it had military on this side, and then natives right across from them. And if you know the story there with the Miami Indians and the military stuff, that no, because the military basically came in to wipe out the Indians. So maybe that was it. Like, why you have them across the street? Like, I don't know. So I don't know. But like I said, it was off. It was weird. So many people that are, normally so laid back were not laid back. They were edgy, like on edge, like biting at people, nipping. Let's start an argument. Let's start a fight. Let's fuss. Let's carry on. From day one, before it even started. So I don't know. I mean, all I know is that spirits were extremely restless, and it felt like out there, like I'm dodging one after another, like trying to, listen. And it's like, and when you're trying to talk to one, and then it's a sea full of people trying to talk to you at the same time. So it was very chaotic. It was very stressful. Like, and the vibe that you get is just, just frustration, unrest, not anger, but frustration and unrest. And, basically my head, the feeling I'd be like, what the hell? That's the feeling that I got from being out there the whole weekend. And then, like I said, when I went back that second day, it wasn't as strong. It's like things were starting to calm down, but still there were so many people, is what I call them, because they're spirits, but so many people just, I don't know. There's so many that are just still lost, especially the natives. They're so lost because they didn't get proper burials. Like, they even have things out there for the soldiers that died. They have memorials for them. And the Indians were pretty much just thrown to the side. No respect. No respect shown, even after death. So, I don't know. It's usually a very peaceful, very happy place. And I don't know if it's the thinning of the veils or shifting and things, but wasn't so peaceful this weekend at all. And like I said, normally it is. Normally that is my solace. That is my, let's go to this and have fun. But everyone was just stressed out. It's like instant stress. As soon as you walk there, you haven't even started anything, and everybody's on edge.
Well, some of that could have been just the change in routine.
True.
Anytime, 15 years of seeing it, anytime you change somebody that's accustomed to a certain routine, anytime that's messed with in any sort of way, it always irritates people.
Are you saying because we usually have it like the first weekend and it wound up being mid? Or,
yeah, it could
or
be
the fact that they
any
changed
of
camping
it. It could
areas.
be any of it and all of it. And, we change weekends. Okay, that's not as big a deal, but then you change camping areas.
And the reason they did that, I understand, is because it was so much rain. And,
right.
And the place where they normally were was so muddy. Right,
but it snowballs, and then that's
Yeah.
where you get a lot of your irritation.
But
That's
there was a
probably
lot of that.
what that's from.
And as I was walking out in the woods quite a bit yesterday, and it wasn't as strong as on the battlefield, but there was still discontent.
Right.
It wasn't that feeling of a peaceful, walk in nature kind of a
Right.
thing. It was okay, let's go out, let's talk to some people, let's figure out what's going on. And I'm like, well, I'm a little rusty on my Miami Indian, I don't know the language, so you got to slow it down for me. But, and it seemed like everybody would try and talk so fast and talk over each other. It's just, and for me, it's frustrating as well. Because it's like, okay, I can't help you if I don't know what you're saying. If you can't show me what you need,
Right.
what you want. So that is frustrating itself. But I know that there was some stuff going on because of the way the horses had acted all weekend, not just on the field, but they had to double secure their corrals this year.
Yeah, they didn't want to be there.
No, they did not. They wanted to be anywhere but there. You could look in their eyes when they're just like, nope. And those are the horses that they get pictures of on the billboards of these horses running in, into battle with the soldiers on their back, and they're charging
been
into
around
where the
that stuff.
cannons are going. Yeah, so that's not it. They're not afraid of gunfire. They're not afraid of cannons. They're not afraid of noises. They're really not afraid of any dang thing until
Right.
it's stuff they can sense or see, and the humans are not seeing it, and they're like, look, do you not see this? I'm not running over there.
Right.
I'm not doing it. There's oogies over there, and I'm not going. So, I don't know. Hopefully next year things will kind of calm down a little bit as far as that goes. Because, like I said, it's a really, really cool event to do. It's a really cool thing that I love to do because of the history, because of everything, and, because I can talk to spirits and stuff and get more of a sense of what the hell happened, like what really went on. I know what history tells me, but I want you to tell me what happened. Because you know as well as I do that people who write the stories write history. And especially with
victor's
its
right
white
to
man
history.
against native. So, it's that kind of an issue. But like I said, overall, it was fun. Like, once you got into, okay, this is the daily routine. We're selling stuff, we're, all that stuff. That's okay. But the battles were just off. I mean, they were still fun. They were still dramatic, and it was still, all that. But it just seemed that something was different.
Right.
So, and that's like all I could think of was, well, it's a different time of the month. It is different people, camping in, not just different people, but different groups of people camping in different areas, and camping in areas that back then would not have happened because everyone would have died in their sleep.
Right.
You're not going to have the natives that are, but also they're not just doing that reenactment of the Miamis. What they're doing is, with the British and all these different things. So I don't know. It just was off this weekend, and it felt, you could go out on the field and know that there was presence out there.
Right.
And it wasn't a very friendly presence. So like I said, the veils between worlds are thinning, guys. Like, it is. People now who, 10 years ago would not ever have been able to see or hear a spirit or anything like that. Now they're like, oh my gosh, everybody's talking to me, or, oh, I can see, the Fae, I can do this, that, and the other. The veils are thinning. I don't think it's going to be, and you can call me crazy, crackpot, whatever, but I don't think it's going to be too much in the distant future when some shit's going to go down and we're going to have to figure it out real quick. Like, you're going to stumble and fall, pick yourself up, keep going, but figure out how to fix it. Because, we all going to have to learn to live together. Because if not, it's going to be a mess. So, I don't know. But as far as that went, yeah, like, the Ookie Spook ghosty stories are kind of fun to play with, and they're fun to talk about and stuff. But, there are a lot of them, though, folks, that are real. And that people will go to their graves knowing, nope, I saw that, I heard that, I did that. So, and no amount of someone going, are you sure? Like, okay, don't patronize me.
Right.
I'm not crazy. I don't have Alzheimer's. Like, I'm not dementia. This is me. It's who I am. Accept it or don't. So, I'm just fortunate enough that people in my life accept that. So, I don't know, but looks like we're getting ready for another break. And then when we come back, we'll have about 6 or 7 minutes. And, we'll kind of conclude everything and find out, kind of put feelers about that. We're going to do more Halloween-y type stuff next week as well. Probably not dealing with children. We'll kind of go more into just Halloween. Straight up Halloween.
Samhain.
Yeah, and maybe kind of discuss, even with Halloween movies, pros, cons, best, worst, maybe even that. But if anyone has any topics on, hey, let's try this, or hey, let's talk about that, absolutely throw it out there to us. Especially on our Facebook page, we'll get to it. Geek Public Radio, you can do it that way. Shoot a text to any one of us or the studio phone, and he will give you the number because I'm horrible with it.
765-278-8661.
And then we'll be able to do that. So, let's go ahead and go to this break, and we'll be back with you here in just a few minutes.
Okay.
All right, and we are back, guys. Looks like we got about 7 or 8 minutes left with you this evening. So basically, it's, my belief that anything to do with children, when it comes to horror movies or paranormal or things, it just is extra creepy, and it's the stuff that I don't like to mess with. Even when it comes to child spirit, like that stuff, it kind of freaks me out a little bit. You have to be in a certain mindset for that, not just like, ooh, surprise! Because, surprise, I just peed my pants, we're fine. But, I should be used to it. Like, I've seen crap since I was a kid, so you would think I'd be used to it and by now, but I'm like, nope, still gets me.
Right.
It's like, oh, hello there. Especially when you're around people and you're like, you have to figure out, are you really a person right now? Or are you not? Am I the only one that sees you?
Right.
Like, that gets tricky because you're talking to someone that no one else sees, and then you just look crazy. I'm like, well, they're right there. No, they're not. Well, crap.
It's like some Sixth Sense kind of stuff. Right?
Yeah. They're everywhere. And they are.
Mm-hmm.
They're everywhere. But, Halloween is great. I don't care how you slice it. It's just like the time of the year it is. It's fall. The weather's not hot. It's not cold. Like, it can get downright chilly, but it's not like, 10 feet of snow cold.
Right.
And it's not 8,000 degrees. I don't do 8,000 degrees well. I'm a very pale person that does not tan. I burn. Thank you to the Irish. I'm like, I have Cherokee Indian in my blood, but I guess the Irish overpowers it. Because I'm just like, I am alabaster, guys. It's very pale. But, we do have fun, like, joking about this and joking about what you would do in certain situations. But honestly, when it comes to the real life uh-ohs like Lisa,
Right.
it's not a joke. Like, that stuff you need to take seriously. And if you have a child that says, I have this imaginary friend, and they're very descriptive about it, and they're very, you want to say imaginative, but that's not it. Like, they are coming down to, like, very, 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 very specific descriptions and specific mannerisms, stuff like that. It's worth it to at least research it.
Right.
Try and see if you can't find something out about it. Like, look up the name. Look up, this type of, quote-unquote imaginary friend. Like, because more times than not, you and your child are probably not the only ones dealing with it.
Right.
Tens and thousands of children probably deal with it. But it's worth it to not just ignore it.
And
not just make it go away.
And that falls into, too, it's like, if you've got something going on, where do you go to get help for that?
Right.
What do you do?
Yeah. I mean, and it's hard, like, especially now in the day of the internet. You try to say, okay, I need a medium. Well, you go look for one, and they're, they're a quack. They're nuts, And it's hard to be, but there are ways that you can find reputable sources.
Looks like we've got one, but is it the one we want?
Exactly. Right. There can be 10 million, but you've got to weed out the 2 out of that 10 million that are actually, and honestly, a lot of times, and I know some do, but people that offer services for help are not going to ask for a crazy amount of money. They might say, yeah, maybe my gas money or a little bit, just because they have to come. And you know what? They have to come out of their home. They have to come to you, like maybe even a state away, if not counties, to that. But then there are those people that are like, well, if you want this problem to go away, it's going to cost you.
Right.
Those are the ones that you steer clear of, because even if they do have a real gift, they're disrespecting it. You want to be with the people that are like, yes, we can do this. And then they will give you a list of things that you need to do first. Do your homework. Do your homework, guys. Find people that are reputable. Find people that are trustworthy, and that aren't just going to say, well, we'll do it and we'll take care of everything. Because at first, if they look at you and go, we'll take care of everything, you don't have to do anything, they are liars and they're charlatans.
Right.
Because they cannot do stuff if you don't do stuff with them.
Right.
Number one, they don't have permission in your house. So always be sure to look things up. But, and you can look online. There are many reputable ones there. Or if you know someone, a friend or acquaintance that, is spiritual or, whatever, they may know people. If they can't do it themselves, they may know people. So that's always a thing that you can do. Hopefully, most of you out there won't ever have to deal with it, because like I said, it's very unsettling, as parents, my poor friends, their daughter, like, it's very unsettling. Because then, any parent says, I want it to come after me. Why is it coming after my kid? Make it come after me. Well, you can't. That's just not the way it works. That's not, that's not the nature of the spirit that is being dealt with.
Right.
So, I mean, as far as that goes, it's kind of a delicate situation, and it's going to be a finessing, balancing act to deal with that. But now that they are educated about it, they're going to be able to better figure out a resolution. Right. Education is key. And don't just poo-poo something because it's just them being a kid.
Right.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that. That was done to me and my family growing up. Just don't do that. Because, number one, what it tells your child is, you don't believe me, you don't trust me, you don't respect me, and you think I'm nuts. And that tells a child that they're just not going to come to you about bigger stuff.
Right.
So I think that the way these particular parents are handling it is fantastic, because, they're telling, their child, I believe you. And I am taking this very seriously. And I'm asking every question I can. I'm asking everything that I can, to get information without making you completely uncomfortable with it.
Right.
So, I mean, I do like that, and I respect that very, very, very much. But we are coming up on the end of our time here, just a couple minutes shy. But I don't know. Do you have anything to add to that, Stafford, as far, as any of this goes, or?
I think you've pretty much covered it. I mean, there's not really a whole lot that can be done, until more is known, or
right.
It just.
And at this point, it doesn't seem to be harmful to the child. So,
right.
It's nothing there. It's just, the mom teasing me saying, well, I guess I'm just going to have to not say anything, be always nice about it. Yeah, for now, because we don't know.
It gets worse, though.
Yeah. But for now, they're at that level where, okay, well, now we can research it and have like a little bit of a cushion and not feel like stress. Let's do it now, fast.
There's a little bit of time.
Yeah. You don't feel rushed. That's never something you want to feel.
Right.
But it may come down to a point of, okay, the old movie adage, you do need the young priest, the old priest in the whole bucket of holy water, like you don't know.
Right.
So, all right. Well, we love discussing Halloween. We love discussing creepy shit.
There's a whole show that does that on Saturday nights.
There is, but not just like this.
Right.
The Saturday night show, they're like all out there and all that. What I'm just specifically like
Aliens.
Yeah, well, specifically right now is Halloween type stuff.
Right.
Not just the supernatural, but Halloween movies, Halloween costumes, Halloween candies, Halloween, whatever. So, all right, well, we will talk with you all next week. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully the weather still holds and it's still really nice out there and I can finish getting my fall decorations out. So, but we'll be back with you next week, same time, same channel.
Quiet, woman.
You're going to get hurt.
I had to work that
You're
in.
going to get hurt.
I couldn't help it,
I know, you've got all those shiny new buttons over there.
I do.
You don't want to wake the dragon, do you?
No, you don't. All right, we will see you all next week.
All right.